Hello, squirrel listeners. Just got finished with my live, and I thought before I go get something to eat, get comfortable in my chair, got another package delivered, that I would go ahead and get the reading done. So we are on chapter 14 called Aunt Clara's Plan, in her book called Rose in Bloom. Being seriously alarmed by the fear of losing the desire of his heart, Charlie had gone resolutely to work and, like many another young reformer, he rather overdid the matter, for in trying to keep out of the way of temptation, he denied himself much innocent enjoyment. The artistic fit was a good excuse for the seclusion which he fancied would be a proper penance, and he sat listlessly, I can't read, plying crayon or paintbrush with daily wild rides on Black Brutus, which seemed to do him good, for danger of that sort was his delight. People were used to his whims and made light of what they considered a new one, but when it lasted week after week, and all attempts to draw him out were in vain, his jolly comrades gave him up, and the family began to say approvingly, now he really is going to settle down and do something. Fortunately, his mother let him alone, for though Dr. Alec had not thundered in her ear as he threatened, he had talked with her in a way which first made her very angry, then anxious, and lastly quite submissive, for her heart was set on the boy's winning Rose, and she would have had him put on sackcloth and ashes if that would have secured the prize. She made light of the cause of Rose's displeasure, considering her extremely foolish and straight-laced, for all young men in any spirit had their little devices and came out well enough when the wild oats were sowed. So she indulged Charlie in his new vagary as she had in all his others, and treated him like an ill-used being, which was neither an inspiring nor helpful course on her part. Poor soul, she saw her mistake by and by, but when too late repented of it bitterly. Rose wanted to be kind and tried in various ways to help her cousin, feeling very sure she should succeed, as many another hopeful woman has done, quite unconscious how much stronger an undisciplined will is than the truest love, and what a difficult task the wildest find it to undo the mistakes of a bad education. But it was a hard thing to do, and for at the least hint of commendation or encouragement, he looked so hopeful that she was afraid of seeming to promise too much, and of all things she desired to escape the accusation of having trifled with him. So life was not very comfortable to either just then, and while Charlie was mortifying soul and body to please her, she was studying how to serve him best. Aunt Jessie helped her very much, and no one guessed, when they saw pretty Miss Campbell going up and down the hill with such a serious face, that she was intent upon anything except talking with praiseworthy regularity the constitutionals which gave her such a charming color. Matters were in this state when one day a note came to Rose from Mrs. Clara. My sweet child, do take pity on my poor boy and cheer him up with the sight of you, for he is so triest it breaks my heart to see him. He has a new plan in his head which strikes me as an excellent one. If you could only if you will only favor it. Let me come and take you for a drive this fine afternoon and talk things over. It will do him a world of good. And deeply obliged, your ever-loving Aunt Clara. Rose read the note twice and stood a moment pondering with her eyes absently fixed on the little bay before her window. The sight of several black figures moving briskly to across its frozen surface seemed to suggest a model of escape from the drive she dreaded in more ways than one. That will be safer and pleasanter, she said, going to her desk. Wrote her answer. Dear Annie, I'm afraid of Brutus, but if Charlie will go skating with me, I should enjoy it very much, and it would do us both good. I can listen to the new plan with an undivided mind there, so give him my love, please, and say I shall expect him at 3. Affectionately, Rose. Punctually at 3, Charlie appeared with his skates over his arm, with a very contented face which brightened wonderfully as Rose came downstairs in a sealskin suit and scarlet skirt so like the one she wore years ago that the voluntarily exclaimed as he took her skates. You look so like the little Rose. I hardly know you, and it seems so like old times I feel 16 again. That's just the way one ought to feel on such a day as this. Now, let us be off and have a good spin before anyone comes. There are only a few children there now, but it's Saturday, you know, and everybody will be out before long, answered Rose, carefully putting on her mittens as she talked, for her heart was not as light as the one little Rose carried under the brown jacket, and the boy of 16 never looked at her with the love and longing she read in the eyes of the young man before her. Away they went, and were soon almost as merry and warm as the children around them, for the ice was in good condition, February sunshine brilliant, and the keen wind set their blood a-tingle with a healthful glow. Sorry, I'm tongue-tied, y'all. I'm not even sleepy, really. My reading hasn't been flowing very well lately. What is that? Asked Rose, trying to free her hands, for a look at Charlie made her suspect what was coming. That you go with us. And holding the hands fast, he added rapidly, let me finish before you speak. I don't mean that anything is to be changed till you are ready, but if you go, I'm willing to give up everything else and live anywhere as long as you like. Why shouldn't you come to us for a year or two? We've never had our share. Father would be delighted. Mother contented, and I the happiest man alive. Who made this plan? Asked Rose, as soon as she got the breath which certainly had been rather taken away by this entirely new and by no means agreeable scheme. Mother suggested it. I shouldn't have dared even to dream of such richness. I'd made up my mind to go alone, and when I told her, she was in despair till this superb idea came into her head. After that, of course, it was easy enough for me to stick to the resolution I'd made. Why did you go, Charlie? And Rose looked up into the eyes that were fixed beseechingly on hers. They wavered and glanced aside, then met hers honestly, yet full of humility, which made her own fall as he answered very low, "Because I don't dare to stay." "Is it so hard?" she said pitifully. "Very hard. I haven't the moral courage to own up and face ridicule, and it seems to mean, and it seems so mean to hide for fear of breaking my word. I will keep it this time, Rose, if I go to the ends of the earth to do it." It's not cowardly to flee temptation, and nobody whose opinion is worth having will ridicule any brave attempt to conquer one's effort. No, conquer oneself. Don't mind it, Charlie, but stand fast, and I'm sure you'll succeed. You don't know what it is, and I can't tell you, for I've tried to give it up. I never guessed what a grip it had on me. I thought it was only a habit, easy to drop when I like, but it is stronger than I, and sometimes I feel as if possessed of a devil that will get the better of me, try as I may. He dropped his hands abruptly at his sides. As he said that, with the energy of despair, and as if afraid of saying too much, he left her for a minute, striking away at full speed, as if in truth he would go to the ends of the earth to escape the enemy within himself. And I'm going to stop right there. Have a wonderfully crafty day, and I will see you in the YouTube streets, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Tea at 3. Be sweet, don't be ugly. Love ya. Bye-bye.